Okay, here we go for chapter 7. Okay, it was supposed to be chapter 6 and 7 in the last video, but I'm doing chapter 7 now. So, I'm catching up on the Matthew challenge. We're doing it with our church, KFT, Kingdom Full Tabernacle. Okay, so let's go to chapter 7. Chapter 7 opens up with Jesus telling us, do not judge so that you will not be judged. Okay? So, in 1 Corinthians chapter 10, Apostle Paul gave a warning saying that take heed. If you think you're standing, take heed lest you fall. Basically, if you're thinking that you're in a better position, in a standing position, to judge somebody who falls, say watch out. So, a couple of things that I noted why it's good not to judge, in the sense of like, oh, so-and-so did that. How could they do that? What? Like, if it was me... Listen, anyway. So, the reason why we should not judge, one, we're only being kept by mercy. It's only by the grace of God. There are certain things we hear other people do. If it wasn't by God's grace, we probably would have been doing the same thing or worse. Two, we must show mercy, because Jesus tells us to show mercy. The people who show mercy, who are merciful, they're the one who will be obtaining mercy. So how would you like to be treated if that was you in that situation? I'm gonna let that sink in. 3, when you judge others, what you're doing is that you're creating a standard by which you will be judged. So the higher you raise the bar, the higher the bar will be raised for you as well, for you to meet. So, also, number 4, we attract the things that we're seeing to come to test us. Because if you say, me, I would have never. Listen, that thing will come knocking at your door and test you. Jesus said it. He said, by your words you will be condemned, by your words you will be saved. So we need to just be very careful when we hear certain things, for us to not to be quick to judge. And sometimes we don't even know the full story, and we're just like opening our mouth, we're opening the door for us to be tested. And one thing I remember Apostle Isi would be saying is that conversations it's like portal that opens up realms. So when we're having certain conversations, it's not even like, oh, that happened, let me pray for the person. But no, you're judging, saying that you would not. Hey, that thing will come and test you. And the other thing is that the Bible tells us that we do not know our heart. Our heart is desperately wicked. So being in the position of the person, you don't even know if you were in the same position that they are. You don't know if you probably would have not done worse than they did. The other thing too is that sometimes people fall because the enemy come to them. They may not be, as strong. So we don't know their situation. We don't know their position. And the other thing, to go back to number 5. So number 5 said that we don't know our own heart. So that reminds me of Father David. The prophet comes to Father David, giving him a parable about, hey, do you know what happened? This is this man that did this and took the only lamb of that man, this and that and the third. Father David said, he did what? Hey, he must pay with interest. Father David got angry. And then the prophet said, that is you, Dave. Hey, Father David, that is you. Actually, Father David did worse. They said a lamb and he got angry. Yet he killed somebody's entire husband because of his own sin, adultery, to cover his sin, and also to get somebody's wife. Which one was worse? The person who took the lamb, or the person who killed the lamb, or the person who killed the actual human being? So you see, although David was called a God after God's own heart, David sinned and did not even realize it until the prophet came. And maybe David never thought that he would have been a murderer, that he would have done something like that. Because even in that moment, the way David got angry for him to say, this person must pay, to already judge that person, condemn them, and declare the sentence that what the punishment must be, while David himself did worse than that. And then that goes back to, I think it's verse 3, where Jesus say, why do you see the speck in your in your neighbor's eye, and you don't see the whole plank that is in yours? So David had the whole plank in his eye, but he did not see it, but he saw the speck in that person's eye. So that just makes us like, we need to just very be careful about like judging people, because at the end of the day, we all here by mercy. If God was treating us based on our sin, we would have been gone. So before we judge people, we need to look at our lives. Am I perfect? Like Jesus said, whoever does not sin, cast the first stone. Because to God, James said, if you are guilty against one law, you're guilty against all of it. So to God, you lie, it's the same as if you committed adultery. It's the same as if you were you committed homosexuality, adultery, murder, or anything. You're guilty against the entire law, because once you're guilty, you're guilty against it. So that's why we couldn't keep the law. That's why Jesus had to come. He was the only one who was perfect at keeping the law. So before we judge anybody, there is another passage that says, before we would judge other people's disobedience, we need to make sure our obedience is complete. So that just goes to say that God needs to be the ultimate judge. I'm not saying that if somebody does something that is unscriptural, then we cannot say, yeah, that is not. But we need to be very careful in the way that we go about even things like that. And also, like, is that even our place? Because we see now, nowadays, with social media, people would just go online and think that every man of God, whether they fall or not, whether it's true or not, they hear accusation, rumors, and they would go online, be the judge, the legislator, the everything. So we need to just be very careful, because again, Jesus gave us a warning. The way that we judge others, that's the way that we're going to be judged. When we hear something happen to somebody fall, we need to ask God for mercy for them and be merciful. Because if that was you, if that was your beloved son, mother, or sister, would you have like somebody to go on social media and bash them? Would you have like somebody to go on social media, release pictures and videos of them online? Would you have like that for yourself? Think about that. So Jesus said also to treat others the way we would want them to treat us. We would want people to treat us with love, respect, and mercy. So we should do the same for others. So that's what I get from that. See the connection of the judging with Father David, one of my favorite Bible character. I love David, and I love his heart and the fact that he was quick to repent before the Lord when he realized that, oh my gosh, I've sinned against God. So he repented. So we need to be the same. When we see something that someone does, we need to look at our own lives. Is that in me? Is there a different version of that in me? And then for us to repent. God bless you. Can't wait to see you in the next videos coming up.